Hey, long overdue walkthrough. I'm gonna skip the greenhouse walkthrough this time, but just to show that I've enclosed the spot where I had planned on putting the RV. Um, I'm not going to do that this year. The RV is stuck pretty deep in the other yard. However, I may have a winter guest come in and back his RV up into this spot for the winter. Old friend. Which would be kind of nice to have somebody here, rather intimidating looking person that can help guard the entrances. Anyways, off we go. Had lots and lots of wild carrots or just seeds that got scattered and grew from domesticated carrots this year. But lots of these Queen Anne's lace looking things that apparently are edible as well. Did some late season planting of some radishes and carrots and some lettuce in here, but the lettuce just does not want to sprout. Speaking of not wanting to sprout, oh, there's some beans there too, came up on their own. Speaking of not wanting to sprout, I've had trouble with peppers this year, and apparently a lot of people are. They only came up to a couple inches during germination, and they just stopped growing and just refused to propagate this year. Each corner of the dome pond, I've got some stuff growing. I did not grow around it this year, but inside I have buried a pole. And concreted it into the center of the pond and put some tires around it and filled it with rocks and dirt to steady it up. But that's what the Vesuvius, or Savonius, wind turbine will be mounted to in the center of this structure here that I am starting to close up with some plastic fencing to give it some shape and some detail, and hopefully eventually what I want to do is put some wire weld fence around the inside of the pond to close it up and eventually cover this possibly in bubble wrap to have some small greenhouses to extend the growing season and have a water supply still and hopefully hold in some heat. Moving along, the salad tree that I created that grows stuff through the carpeting. It's got a wire, what do you call it, wire wound fencing skeleton underneath. But this year just got beans and peas in it. I didn't get too elaborate with it. Along the sidewalk where people can graze, all sorts of assortment of beans and peas and tomatoes. And up at the end there's a couple different fruit varieties of grapes that are growing into the fences, and some raspberries, wild strawberries, gooseberries, all in the mixture. Oh, and lemon cucumbers. We've got a large variety of these yellow, round variety of heirloom cucumber, extremely delicious. And sunflowers, oh my god, mammoth sunflowers. And those are all recycled seeds from last year. And in amongst the sunflowers, in between here, I've got a pole that is suspending a large patch of watermelons. Let's see if I can, let me see. Yeah, there's one there. Not exact, can't remember. I think it's like Hale's Best, I think, variety of melons, but my god, they're going nuts in here. It seems like I'm getting more blossoms than fruit. The bees aren't really doing their job by the looks, but we got some peas, but they are doing, I do see them. It's not that there's an absence of bees. Oh, there's a good shot. of what the lemon cucumbers end up looking like. Oh, also I forgot the tomatillos are mixed in here as well. Interesting. I haven't really made a lot of. Oops. Sorry about the jiggling. Let's see if I can get a good shot of the tomatillo. You can see it in the back. There is one. They come in like almost like a little Chinese lantern paper shell with the fruit in the middle of them. Interesting vegetable or fruit, whatever you want to call them. Oh, some more sunflowers. I invested in that seed extractor, oil extractor. I wanted to have lots and lots of sunflowers. Those are not even really coming to a head except for a few. That was the first one. Actually, that one came up on its own. I never planted it. It's just leftover seeds from last year, but that was the first to. Actually, that wasn't the first to actually flower. That one back in there was the first to flower. And it was a little bit shorter one, but they are starting to do their thing. So I'm going to have lots of sunflower oil this year. And moving along to the trench pond that these are just some herbs at the end, some lemon balm, and various different types of herbs that I'm just kind of starting to get ramped up with. The trench pond, I had mentioned that I lined the whole thing in carpet with the nap facing upward, which apparently was a mistake. I should have put it facing down, but then I found out that there's this substance called gley, Gley, that is a biological plastic that forms in anaerobic processes that they can actually create from animal manure and cover it up so the air doesn't get to it, and it makes this gooey substance that seals ponds and stuff. It's a natural occurring substance. So I thought this would be a good start since it's already growing some biological stuff into the fibers of the carpet now. Right now I can't do it because all the tomatoes and stuff will be knocking them down and whatnot, trying to get at it. But come fall, I can flop all of this carpet around so that the nap is facing down, and it'll already have some biological stuff underneath it to help seal it up. So again, another quote-unquote mistake turns out to be an advantage. These are these, I can't remember the full name, Pomodoro, some Italian name that's hard to pronounce, but they're very, let me see if I can, they're kind of gnarly looking tomatoes that probably wouldn't be very attractive in a grocery store. Some of them are. Some of them look kind of attractive, but they're just, again, it's an heirloom variety that doesn't get chosen for wide. There's one. Look at check this out. How some of them turn out looking like a brain or something. They're really gnarly looking, but it does not affect the taste. They're absolutely wonderful tasting, healthy variety of tomato. Along the other side, I've got some other varieties of melons. Again, lots of blossoms, lots of flowers, but very few fruit so far. And then some more sunflowers, some asparagus is going to seed over here. I plucked the heads, or the seed heads off of the curly dock plant that was there. Big, huge bag of curly dock seeds that I can mill into flour. And over here, I finished cutting the tops off of all the overgrown parsnips. These, believe it or not, are all parsnips through here, pretty much all parsnips. And then again, we have this huge, tall, Queen Anne's lace looking variety of carrot, a wild carrot of some sort, that I've already harvested actually a bunch of little finger variety carrot seed tops. Oh, I passed right by that part of the garden, come to think of it. Oh, this is a structure that I built quite a while ago, the guts for it anyways, but it's kind of like It started out to be a wind turbine, but it's actually got a couple of bicycle tires inside that I can fill with water. Again, for that that fluidic flywheel effect. But on top here, there's a tiny little compressor head geared into it, so that when I've got it rigged up for is for an idea anyways, is to take the water that's coming out of the gutter system and directing it into these paddles, so that as it rains, it's got a lot of work. I gotta free up some friction and whatnot with it yet, but as it rains, it'll actually compress some air to come out through a hose for some energy storage from the rainwater falling. And see, there's I actually saw the Savonius turbine spinning the other day when we had a windstorm, even though the bearings aren't ideal. And something else I'm thinking about doing is suspending. Since this will be in the center of that dome pond down there, I want to try suspending it with like a leader, spinning leader of some sort, to take some of the weight off of the bearings in the trailer axle, and hopefully free up some friction in that as well. I know this is getting a little bit longer but than I intended, but yeah, I got some apple tree saplings started here, and I have planted a couple down amongst the sunflowers out front, and they seem to be doing okay. And even though they're getting quite a bit of shade, they're actually growing quite well. So maybe in a couple of years I'll actually be able to get some apples. But I completely skipped over this patch. This is all mostly cabbage variety, brassica variety of stuff, from kohlrabi to Russian kale to cauliflower to broccoli to and there's potatoes in the tires that are actually overdue for another layer of tires and filled with grass clippings and straw or whatnot. I've got some beets and onions over here, some eggplant plants, which is the largest I've ever been able to get the plants, and I do have some blossoms on them, but I do not see any fruit coming out of my eggplants, which is unfortunate. I really enjoy eggplant. Let me see. I have more tires. These are Purple Majesty variety of potatoes, and these are actually no, it's half of the rose Purple Majesty, half is Yukon Gold. Same with those, and I have a couple of other spots around. Actually, this is some late planting as well. Radishes and carrots seem to be doing okay, but again, for some reason, the lettuce does not want to come up late this year. Yeah, just another example. I got actually over where I put some garlic in last fall. We got that growing back here, along with a couple more teeter tire towers in here. And it just looks like a bunch of weeds, but according to Anastasia, you're supposed to have some weeds here and there. Some wild grapevines. I think they're kind of like a champagne grape variety, a little tiny, really, really seedy, sour type of grapes. But again, oh, look at this. We got peas. Some good peas growing here. Wow, those are huge. Look at that. Oh, those are actually overgrown. Oh, alright. So those will become seeds for next year. I will harvest those, put them in a bag, and those will be seeds for next year. So nice, growing nice and tall. I would love to see this whole thing just covered, just from the corners, just from planting things in the corners. You know, this whole thing can get like covered in food. All right. Oh yeah. Currently, I do have a little tiny solar panel and a pump in the pond, and some goldfish swimming around in the pond as well to take care of the mosquito larvae, and add a little fertilizer into it. And that's pretty much the rundown. Took a little bit longer, but it's been a while, so I thought I'd do a little extra. I did miss another spot. Sorry, a little bit longer. Is the little Three Sisters garden that we have going on up front. Up here, the three sisters being corn, squash, and beans that make a very good companion planting combination. But yeah, corn over here is doing wonderfully. I've got some butternut squash in there and some black beans and a couple varieties of pole beans as well, and some more tires ready to be added onto the tater tire towers and other various uses. I might actually paint them just to be a little bit more decorative. And speaking of decorative, the whole front yard is that's the other half's project. Does a nice job of the little raised bed gardens out by the street, just to add a little decoration. And he does have actually a couple food varieties mixed in. Some tomatoes. They just actually threw some rotten tomatoes out on the lawn, and out into the garden, and they took root, and we got some sustenance there as well. All right, that's finally it. Free food for everybody, forever, y'all.